All right, so I survived my stay at the Hotel Cecil last night. Just kidding. I didn't stay at the Hotel Cecil, but it sure felt like I did. If you don't know the Hotel Cecil, it's a hostel/hotel on Skid Row in LA that was once responsible for giving a whole community of unhoused people tuberculosis because there was a dead woman in their water tank. 4 days. A documentary on Netflix that was 4 episodes, and it could have been 3. Anywho, I went to Atlantic City with 2 of my couple friends, and I could have easily stayed in either of their rooms with open arms, but I'm 33, and unless it was a work trip, I have never booked and stayed in a hotel alone. This felt like a level up moment for me. I'm adulting, and I was proud, and I was excited for myself. Was the Hard Rock where my friends were staying sold out? Absolutely. Did I discover a gorge little hotel on the boardwalk? Ugh, in the pictures, they were so cute. Is this a hidden gem? The secret new hotspot that no one knows about right on the boardwalk? No, it wasn't. When we pulled up to the Madison Hotel boardwalk to drop me off at what looked like the set of American Horror Story Hotel Murder Season, I had a sneaking suspicion that I in fact did not discover a gem. This is not where you're staying, Rocky, is it? There's not even a sign outside. No, there's not a sign on the outside, but the stairs are covered in combination melted and stepped on Hershey Kisses, and that's something. He waited to make sure I checked in safely. Listen, I didn't read the reviews until I was in the car ride home, and that's on me. The pictures online were misleading, and other people also said they were misleading. One review even said I was misled by the description and pictures. So yes, it wasn't just me. The room was huge. In fact, it was 2 rooms, a living room and a bedroom. And the air inside was, she was thick. She was thick. It was a very dark energy, but I was being optimistic. How bad could it be? I checked every corner of the room for murderers. None. Check. I chilled the champagne. And when I went to brush my teeth, I noticed that when I spat regular spit into the sink, mixed with the texture of the sink and maybe some leftover film, it turned red. Okay. Nevertheless, she persisted. I went to meet my friends at the Hard Rock. When I originally booked, I saw it was 4 minutes away, and that it was, in fact, on the boardwalk. Hence the name. After I booked, I saw what I was reading was by car it was 4 minutes, and walking was 14. If you book hotels when you're stoned like me, make sure you're looking at the right direction when it comes to walking directions. Me to the front desk man. Hey, the boardwalk, am I, close? Online it says, this hotel is on the boardwalk. It's not even a 2-minute walk, ma'am. Ma'am felt good, because I'm a motherfucking independent woman with fat-ass titties. Put some respect on that, ma'am. And the walk, it's safe? A nod. That's all he gave me, a nod. Now, this walk is what I like to call a real-life funhouse, but there was nothing fun about it, and the 2 minutes felt like, bitch, what is you doing? Minutes long. I got sized up by a man that I'm sure if I had been 30 seconds earlier would have made that walk so much worse. Yikes. You know when someone puts a chill in your spine so deep your ass cheeks clench? I passed that dude. Got on the boardwalk feeling like Rick Grimes and met up with my friends. I chose to highlight the positives. King-size bed, couch, a working lock and deadbolt, refrigerator. Great art. The looming feeling that I'm being watched through holes throughout the room, so I'm never alone. They suggested going to get anything I may need for the rest of the night, so we didn't go back and forth, and so the 4 of us went back. Once we got there, the sentence, "Oh, it's not so bad," was thrown around a lot. You can just stay in our room. This place looks like a murder den. You're being ridiculous, was also uttered. But this was important to me. I was breaking my solo paid-for hotel virginity, and much like the losing of my actual virginity, it wasn't exactly my vision. We grabbed my things, and I promised at the end of the night I would Uber back. The night itself was perfection, and we wrapped up around 4 a.m. Just stay here, Rocky. You're being ridiculous. This is fine, guys. My stuff is there. I'm taking an Uber, and a ton of psychics have told me I'm not going out till I'm a little old lady like 60, 70 years from now. I'm gonna be okay. But give me your hoodie so I don't look hot in the Uber in case he's a murderer. You know, what if the $5 psychics on McDougal had it wrong? In the Uber, I say to the driver, hey, so I'm meeting 3 of my male friends in the lobby of this hotel. They're expecting me, but they, said it was very creepy. And do you know, will me and my 3 large male friends who are expecting me momentarily going to be safe there? I take many riders there. You should be just fine. It's just a little creepy, though. I made him bang a U-turn so I didn't have to cross the street where the doors of this The Shining remake hotel were swinging open for any vagabond to practice how to not sneak into, but walk in with no repercussions. It was eerily quiet, and I was displeased with my choices immediately. I got inside, I checked the nooks and crannies once again for murderers, piled all my bags and clothes on the corner of my bed for comfort, put my pants on under my dress, and kept my cotton dress on to sleep in. I don't mind changing in the daylight if I was being peeped on, but I didn't want to give a 4 a.m. peeping Tom the satisfaction, you know? Then I laid in bed and hoped for the best. I thought about lighting my joint, but decided against it, as the smell may attract unwanted attention. When I looked above me at the ceiling, I noticed the smoke alarm was dead center in the middle of the ceiling over the bed, where the sacrifices take place, I'm sure. There was a green light on, so I waved at that smoke detector as creepily as I could to let any voyeur know, what's up, motherfucker? I see you too. And I'm gonna creep you out, bitch. Go to sleep, scared bitch-ass smoke detector. Then I woke up, brushed my teeth in the blood sink, gathered my things, and hauled ass into an Uber out of there. Was this a mistake, staying at the Hotel California? No. Mom, stop gripping your steering wheel. I'm fine as wine and safe on my couch by the time you're hearing this. I know you haven't taken a breath since I started recapping my misadventure, but this night was important to my story. Maybe someone listening who could have made the same mistake in judgment in the future will know to avoid this hotel. It taught future Rocky a lesson to double-check reviews of hotels moving forward, and if I find out things like I found out on the car ride home from Atlantic City about this particular hotel, then bitch, don't book. And it also showed me I'm a strong, independent woman who can make it through another wild night, even if it is in the Bates Motel. Now, smile for the smoke detector.
Time for
Duh.
Rocky Run!
Duh.
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello! Did you have a great week? I sure hope so, and if you didn't, hang with me for a little while, and I hope to make you a little bit happier. As you learned from the opening, I had a fun-filled trip to Atlantic City. Anyone who knows me knows I love to gamble, and my friends do too. There is no feeling like a blackjack table filled with your friends, and you're attracting a crowd because you're having so much fun together. We were playing at a $15 table, which means every hand you have to bet at least $15. Sometimes the pit boss will let the dealer know that the minimum is going up, but the players who are already at the table are grandfathered in to continue playing at the limit that they originally sat down at and aren't forced to go up. They were trying to force us to go up. My friend managed to convince them not to do this, that we were the table with the best energy and that the whole crowd around us would leave if they upped the table minimum. The pit boss realized that this was true and didn't raise the table limit. Aces! And I do mean aces. Let the good times roll, baby. Now, only if they had a marijuana section of the casino. That brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Number 1, sunglasses are fashion. Wearing them inside is a fashion statement. Be bold. Number 2, I find it annoying when I text the word salsa, and I always get the dancer and never a bowl of salsa. Number 3, breaking news should be optional on your TV. Sometimes I don't want the news broke. Number 4, my TV unpaused itself while I was home alone and in the other room. So that was up fucking setting. Chill, ghost. Number 5. They say college is 4 years, but it's really less. Think about it. And finally, number 6. People push the narrative that women are terrible drivers, when car insurance for men 25 and under is leagues more expensive than women 25 years and younger, because statistically, men get into more accidents. Beep, beep, boys. My guest this week is comedian Asher Rogers. Asher is such a talent. Asher's wild word was lost, but I promise you have found the right place to hear his story. He wrote and he stars in a pilot called Illegal Allen. We're going to get to that at the end of the interview, but to any of my listeners, Party God Squad, I want so badly to hear your positive feedback on Asher's show, Illegal Allen. It is such an amazing watch, and if you do so and DM me or email me at Wild Nights with Rocky with what you enjoyed about it, I'm going to read your messages on next week's episode. I promise you'll enjoy it, and some of Wild Nights' past guests are on it as well, so that's a nice treat. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Wild Nights with Rocky, on Twitter at Wild Nights Pod. You can also find me on YouTube, where I have extended interviews with my guests. Please feel free to write a review on Apple Podcasts. It really does make a difference, and thank you to those of you who have done so already. And now, please enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Asher Rogers. Asher, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, Spirit Fingers, what a throwback. I interview a lot of people who I don't know. I interview people I do know and who I'm friends with. I am lucky enough to be friends with you. You are hilarious, you're funny, you're cool, you're extremely talented, and now you're doing my show. Woo! It's a party in the USA.
Yeah.
Asher.
Kind words.
Yeah.
Kind words of you to say. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. So a couple weeks ago, we were partying at a bar, and you said to me that a lot of people find you to be unapproachable, or people said that you are unapproachable.
They think I'm mean or angry or something.
Why do you think people think that about you? Because you are completely the opposite of that.
Because of my eyebrows, quite specifically. People, for those who can't see me or don't know me, I have very thick eyebrows, and my resting face apparently is angry, and with the masks, it's been way worse. There's been like confrontations that I don't mean to start just because I'm ordering coffee or something, and this is, you can see if I cover my face, I do look like Oscar the Grouch. So I think that's kind of part of it, is like people think I'm angry, and then if they don't talk to me, then I am angry, because I'm like, right, how dare you call me angry, and then I become the angry guy. So yeah, that's part of it. Who knows? Maybe I am mean. Maybe I'm a scary looking person, but I've definitely heard from people that get to know me that when they first were around me, they thought I was a total different person.
Right. I would co-sign for that a little bit. I've known you for years. I would say our friendship has really just developed over the past couple years, but I have actually known you probably about a decade, because you used to bartend at the Pit where I was a performer. And I would say, yeah, Asher, I was like, that guy, I didn't think you were mean. I just thought you were too cool for school.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess in the same genre of like, people don't want to hang out with me, but that is part of it too, is because that's a big part of it too, is I was a bartender at the Pit for a long time. So the nature of that is like, so, sometimes, often I was not putting on a smile, because you have to deal with like drunk people, you have to cut people off, and there's just weird elements where it's like, someone might have seen me be unfriendly, but it's not because I'm a jerk, it's because I'm at my job and you're like throwing up on the bar, so you got to go. Yeah. So, that's probably part of it too.
That's probably a part of it too. You have to kind of keep people in line, and working at a place like the Pit where, half the crowd there is regulars, because people are performing, multiple times a week. Yeah. But I guess if I was not to know you and I just saw you passing on the street and I needed directions, I would still approach you if I was lost.
Okay. Well, you'd be approaching the wrong person, because I'm the one who's usually lost.
Well, Asher's wild word was lost. So Asher, tell us your wild night story about Lost. I am dying to hear it, and I know everyone else is.
Okay, so I listen to this show a lot, and
Thank you.
there's obviously the theme is being wild and
Hmm.
such, or a wild thing happening. And I do have, I'm sure, a litany of stories that involve, drugs and alcohol that led to wild things. But this story is a sober story, but it's
That's
still one
that's
of the
fine.
craziest things that's ever happened to me. One of the scariest things that's ever happened to me.
Okay, let's
So
hear it.
it's also a throwback story. This is in like 2005 when I'm 21, maybe
Okay.
2006. I remember I'm 21, and it's the era like before maybe iPhones were coming out or whatever, but it's like this is early world where it's like flip phones and stuff.
Yeah.
There's not great technology, and I went through a breakup, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the furthest place in the world to try to get over this. So I went to China to teach English in 2006,
Okay.
and it was so awesome. It was like the most amazing experience of my life. Truly, truly like amazing.
I mean, yeah, one of my girlfriends is teaching in South Korea and she has been for years. She met her husband there. She says it's
Oh, nice.
extremely fulfilling. So, yeah, I've heard that from
Yeah.
people who do that.
So I went there in an era again where it's like I didn't even have a literal camera to take pictures. I went across the
Yeah.
world, and it's still like digital cameras were so expensive that I didn't even have that.
Right.
So you can imagine, I mean, this is like when Facebook is still only for college students. It's just like you're going into another country, and even our country doesn't have GPS really, or
Yeah.
it's pretty, you're going in blind.
Yeah, we were
So
printing out MapQuest at that point.
exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I'm just trying to give you the context for why this is so
Of
terrifying.
course.
So
Yeah.
so it's the trip is great. I'm having an amazing time. I'm with a bunch of other strangers that are there teaching English. And at some point during this couple months I'm there, there's what they I don't remember what they call it, but it's holiday week. It's a holiday, but it's a full week. Everyone's off and everyone travels, everyone does whatever. The group I was with all went to Beijing, and I guess I didn't say where I was. I was in this place, Xi'an, which is kind of an industrial city, kind of touristy though.
Yeah.
And so basically my group went to another city that's just like that. And I was like, I don't want to go to the same city. Let's go somewhere crazy. So
Yeah.
by myself, I decided to go to Inner Mongolia,
Oh.
not knowing what that means, or I don't know. I didn't even know that was a place. I knew Mongolia was. I don't know what Inner Mongolia is. I don't really know anything, but
Is
there was
it
like
inside Mongolia?
it's actually outside, which is even more confusing, but
Whoa, opposite
yeah.
day.
Yeah, I didn't figure it out, and I even looked it up last night, and I was like, I still don't get it. But I think
Yeah.
it has to do with disputing who owns what territories and such. Um, but so I basically book this 13-hour train ride to Inner Mongolia by myself, and I'm doing this also based on, again, this internet it's China. Also, there's not the same internet, so you
Yeah.
can't look up stuff. There's travel books. So
Yeah.
there's stuff that are like that are supposed to be legit. It's a travel book, and so I based this trip on this book that I had that's
Let me
showing this
ask you this.
specific. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. At what level you were teaching English in China, but at what level of Chinese did you speak? There's
Oh, zero.
Mandarin and
Yeah, I learned a couple Mandarin phrases when I was there, but like I zero zilch. They
okay.
didn't even want us to speak Mandarin because they want the kids to be forced to only be able to communicate in English.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got nothing going on for me, and I don't, there's no iPhones to translate or transcribe things. It's just
Yeah.
like you better hope someone's with you that can translate.
Mhm.
Um, and so again, I had this travel book, and then they're showing this hotel. They basically plot out this thing. So I don't think I'm taking a wild swing. I'm following the literal instructions of this book that
Right.
says this is a safe place to go, and this is a hotel you can get. So I do it. I get on this train and I go there, and all I have with me, I had a phone, but again, it's just like I can call the 5 people that are in Beijing.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help. And I had an index piece of paper, an index card that said in Mandarin, I would like to buy a train ticket back home 1 week from now for when I get there to give to them to get back. That's
Gotcha.
all I have. So
Wow.
I get on this train, sleeper train, 13 hours, pretty smooth. I slept most of the way,
Mhm.
and I get out I go to Baotao. It's this city in Inner Mongolia, and I get out of the train, and I realize I've made a big mistake, because it was, it's a steel town. It's an industrial random city
Yeah.
in Inner Mongolia, And there also, I realized I was literally the only white person. It was like where I was at, I would see other tourists and other things that would just make you go like, this, I can sort this out. Some things are in English, even if it's written strangely.
Yeah.
Here, I got to the train station and there's literally nothing in English.
Wow.
And there's no, I mean, there's just, I just go, oh crap. So like I am stuck here for a week because all I have is this card and I can't even tell them, can I get a train ticket for tomorrow or something?
Yeah.
So I'm stuck. And I go, okay, well, this is weird. And I start walking around, checking it out, and realizing more and more that like this is not a place that I should be. I'm a dumb white guy with a bunch of bags and a giant book I'm looking at for directions.
Yeah, you're sticking
And
out like a sore thumb.
oh, big time. And
Mm-hmm.
in a way that at first I'm like, this is a cool memory, and then I'm like getting kind of scared. But I'm like, it'll be fine. Go to the hotel, follow the map, get there. It is a bank or some other thing. It's not a hotel.
Great.
And I'm realizing like, okay, well, maybe, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know when this book was written and who knows how much things change over and
Yeah.
whatever. But again, back in the city I was in Xi'an, if I was lost, I could find my way around, and people will always come up to you and try to talk and stuff. So it's like, they'll help you. They're so friendly and so awesome. This city was very different. And it was
Wow.
just, I was just like going, okay, so this is not a hotel. So I start panicking and I go back to the train station thinking I'll get a ticket back, and then realize again, like I can't communicate that I want a ticket for tomorrow. I have a card that says for 1 week from now.
Right.
And um so I'm kind of spiraling at this point. I'm like, this is how you die and no one finds you, because like no one knows I'm here except for a guy who wrote on a piece of paper to translate for me.
Yeah.
And my parents, no one knows who this person is. So it's just like, I'm gone. And I feel like I'm about to like have a panic attack. And then some guy starts coming up to me trying to practice English. And I was like, not right now, dude. I can't, I'm freaking out. And then I realized, oh, he speaks English. Jesus Christ, help me. And I
Yeah.
remember this man had the longest fingernails. It's just seared in my brain. A man with incredibly long fingernails like saved my ass.
How long?
I mean, all of them were at least 2 inches.
Wow. Okay. Painted?
Yeah, not manicured. No. They were dirty.
Just
But he
disgusting.
also didn't appear homeless. It just, it seemed like a choice. I'm not sure, but it just was like, this guy saved me. And he, well, kind of, he, I realized he could translate. He also wasn't that good at English. So I was like, I need to go to Xi'an now. I need to get on a train right
I'm
now
not
and leave.
staying here.
Yeah. And he's like, he talks to them and he keeps going back and forth. And he's like, there, you can't until tomorrow. That's the soonest one. And I was like, fuck, okay, well, I'll just like hang out in this train station till tomorrow. Just give me whatever that ticket is. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I hide out in a train station for the night, which isn't weird or that scary, but it's, you know,
A little.
it's, at least I had a ticket. I knew I'm going to get home. There's something to hold on to. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going home. I'm not here for a week. I get on the train the next day. Here's where the story really starts.
Okay.
So I didn't know what I was booking. On the way there was a sleeper train with beds. I'm asleep for 13 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The train I booked, this emergency train back home, was a total different scenario. It was like a New York subway packed literally to the inch with people standing for 13 hours.
No.
I am dead serious. And guess what? Not only people, animals. It's like a Muppet movie. There was goats and chickens, and everyone smoked cigarettes with the windows up, 13 hours of standing. That doesn't seem humane, doesn't seem like it should happen, but I
No.
guess it's very regular. And I was lucky that I got on early enough that there are these little kind of peg seats in the corners, and I was sitting in a seat and I was like, oh, I guess I'm the lucky one, because like people's crotches are in my face, but like I am technically sitting. And if you stand in the next 13 hours to go pee, your seat goes away. So there was just kind of, musical chairs of urine going on.
Wow.
For 13 hours.
How hard was it to get to a bathroom on board?
Well, there's bathrooms in every cart, and it was legit a hole to the tracks. So
Gotcha.
It was a comical train. And
Yeah.
also once an hour, people would throw the trash on the ground, and once an hour, someone would come by with a massive broom, and you lift your legs and let the broom man push the trash, like I guess out the side of the car. I'm not sure where it actually went, but
Right.
it was like, this is an insane thing to be happening even for like 5 minutes, but it was for 13 hours. And
Wow. Oh my God.
some nice couple, I guess, spotted me and was like, this guy is fucked.
Yeah.
And they noticed that like I wasn't eating or anything, and they started like like giving me food, and I was like, okay, and like eating random cubes of meat and stuff.
Okay.
But it was so strange.
Hmm.
And at one point, again, I'm like delusionally tired because
Of
it's like you can't
course.
sleep here or there or anywhere. So now I've been
And you
awake for
couldn't
like a
sleep really.
day.
You didn't get a decent night's sleep at the train station.
Yeah. So I'm like, my brain is fried, and it's, you're kind of in delusional land where you're just
Yeah.
accepting all of this. You're just like, I just want to go home. And I don't remember what hour it was, but I remember it was like at least halfway through, the train comes to a quick stop. A bunch of military men in uniforms run on with guns. They didn't point the guns, they didn't pull their guns up, but they run up to me and they start yelling at me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And
Just you?
again, just me. No, they came for me. Like someone radioed to some station, this guy's on this train or something, and they stopped there and they run up to me and they're like about to rip me off this train. And I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like, I have my hands in the air. Like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, this little kid jumps over a seat, and he had like one of those early pocket translator things. And he put it in my face and told me what they were saying. And they were like, they needed my passport and all this shit. I gave it to him, of course, but I was like, they thought I was not complying because I was not handing over my shit. But I was just like, I have no idea what's
I don't
going on.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, they took my passport and my stuff and left for like 20 minutes and came back, and they let me go. And I don't know who they thought I was, what I thought I was. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea. But that was, halfway through this experience of this train ride. And there was a moment hours later where because it would make stops, we were just stopping in random fields essentially, because it's through
Hmm.
like Mongolia and like, or down throughout there. And there was a moment where I was like, should I just get off and go, like just go into the hills and die? Because I was like, this is never going to end. It seemed like it was not going to stop.
Also, just to go back a little bit, you got stopped. They stopped the train for 20 minutes. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this has happened to you. If you've ever been on the subway and the subway just like goes before you're secure and you do like a little stumble forward or you fall a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and then you have to sit on the subway with fellow New Yorkers for another 2 minutes, and it's the worst 2 minutes of your life because you're so embarrassed.
Oh yeah.
That is this on steroids.
Yeah,
Or
it's
this is
six
that on
hours of
steroids.
yeah, 6 hours of people looking at me as if I wasn't getting enough attention already, looking at me like, is he a criminal now? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
Wow.
Yeah, if you've ever been very tired and like feel like you're gonna die, and then you have like, yeah, exactly, a hostage group of 50 people staring at you, it's a very interesting feeling.
Chickens just like shaking their head at you in disgust.
I mean, the chickens weren't even the problem. The smoking was the insane thing, is
Yeah, I
because
bet.
they had the windows up so that there's not insane noise from a train, but everyone was smoking. And when I got home, I mean, this is gross, but it took me a week of blowing my nose to stop black soot from coming out. Because
Whoa.
yeah, I was like, whoa, this got deep in me. But it
Yeah.
was just, we were what's the word? I smoke so much pot. I don't know why we're
If you think
hotboxing a train car
hotboxing,
of
yeah, yeah,
cigarette.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It would have been a much better train ride if you guys were hotboxing
Oh
pot.
yeah. Oh yeah. But those military men would have executed me if that was the case also.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's good. But so, I mean, I guess that's the end, is I did make it back, and it took like days of recouping to deal with that. And I probably forgot a lot of other small strange things that happened, because it was 16 years ago, but it's still like the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, I think.
Yeah, that's horrifying and a great story. Absolutely wild. I can't even imagine. I don't even like putting my cell phone in the other room when I'm watching a movie or something. So to be completely off the grid in a strange place, not speaking the language. I mean, that probably, what were you, 21 at this time?
Yeah, 21,
Yeah, that probably,
overconfident.
yeah, it probably aged you in a way or matured you in a way that you didn't even
Oh yeah.
know.
That's probably why I'm bald. Just because those military officers ran onto that train. I started losing my hair back then, probably.
They took all your Propecia out of your bag. They're
They
like, we're
took,
taking this.
they're taking it back. They're like, you didn't pay for this.
Oh man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was just
Horrifying,
gonna
but
ask you this now. Since that experience, you're a really fun guy. You're a really wild guy. And obviously you don't have to go into detail, but has there been another time when you were out of the country and you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna play roulette with my life, and or have you
yes.
learned your lesson?
No, absolutely. I was going to say, there's strangely enough, there's another time I went to China where I almost became an indentured servant. Um,
Okay,
like
well, go on.
there's a quick story. Quick story.
Yeah, no,
And
please.
because the thing is, that first trip was truly amazing. I had a couple scary experiences, of course, but like it was an amazing. I loved it so much. I wouldn't trade it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And so I tried to do it again in like 2011. I think it was 2011, somewhere around then. And I tried to go teach again through a totally different random school, different random province. Same thought of just like, I'm gonna go shake shit up.
Right.
And basically when you do that kind of stuff, like there's recruiters and there's all these third party people that could be good or could be slimy. And I got
Gotcha.
slimed basically. I got there with like a 6 month to a year contract to teach,
Uh-huh.
and the recruiter told me I had room and board. The school did not. So basically I got there and they were like, so where are you living? And I was like, what? Like, this is part of the contract. And I showed them where we had made this. And they're like, yeah, this guy, he lied to you. And they were like, well, the only thing we could do is like, we can give you you can live in our dorm thing. But like for that, basically the setup was like, you kind of now owe us 6 months of rent up front. So they're like, if you can do this, but like you're not going to get paid for 6 months. You're going to sign a contract to be here for a year, and you'll start getting paid half a year from now. And part of me was like, maybe I should just become a fucking slave in China. Who cares? Like, why not? I mean, at the moment, I was like, well, maybe not, and I left. But since then, I've had many moments of going, maybe I should have just been a slave for a year and like see what
Right.
happens.
So you
But that
didn't
was
end
another,
up
yeah.
doing that.
No, when it was going down, I was like, I think this is dangerous. So
Yeah.
maybe let's not.
What was a
And I
list of some of
bounced.
the things that they would want you to do there?
Well, I don't think it was like I guess it wasn't slave labor, but it was like the contract I was signing was like, instead of it being, we're paying you this much money, it's you owe us this much. You don't have to pay it yet, but you do owe us this much for room and board for 6 months. So it was just like, I wouldn't be able to quit basically if I was like, I don't like this job. It's like, well, it's not a job. You owe us 6 months of work.
Wow.
So yeah, so I bounced.
Well, I'm glad you bounced because you would probably be swimming with the fishes right now if you
Mhm.
didn't. So that's good news. And yeah, no more teaching jobs. That was the last
I mean, I'm
shebang.
into it. I'll try to get. I
Okay.
love kids, and like teaching kids is so fun. And certain age groups are disgusting and annoying, but
Yeah.
I love it. And I love traveling and stuff. So I would totally do it again.
So you're not scared off.
No, no, no.
You're like, whatever they throw my way, I can handle. I've survived inner and outer and inside Mongolia. I've survived
Yeah,
trains. I've survived, okay, indentured
chicken,
servitude.
smoke. I've done it
Yeah,
all.
you've done it all. Well, that's wild. You've also written your own pilot called Illegal Alan, which I have
Hmm.
watched 3 times because I enjoyed it
Oh,
so much. I watched it the
thank
first
you.
time, of course, and then I watched it again showing my brother, and then I watched it right in preparation for our interview.
Oh,
And
cool.
so you wrote that, you directed it,
Yes.
produced it.
Kind of, yeah. It's me and my partner Haldane McFall. I think you know Haldane. Maybe you don't.
I
He's
think from
another
back in the
old
day, he
old
was,
pit world guy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We used to play music together, and then that kind of transitioned into a equally unlikely career of film and TV. So that's what we kind of pursue now. But he's yeah, we both kind of did everything. I mean, I guess I wrote it, but like we both directed, edited, and
Yeah,
all the jazz.
you
And
guys were
much
very
credit due to
much
him because he's got the eye.
right.
It
It
looks all
was,
purty because of Haldane.
it looked very pretty. It's extremely professionally well done. It looks like a show that would be on Netflix and should be. It's very funny.
Oh, thanks.
Um, what was the inspiration behind writing Illegal Alan?
Well, it's two things. I mean, there's elements that are true to my life as
Uh-huh.
far as like having worked a lot of under the table jobs, a lot of jobs that maybe you feel like you should be past or beyond in life.
Yeah.
And it's also based primarily on what we could film. So we kind
Mm.
of wrote a story around, you know, me and Hal, we don't have a budget or anything. We have a bunch of funny friends that
Yeah.
we're like, we can get them to do stuff, but you know, scheduling all these things without money is tough. So we had to write a story that kind of focuses on one person and them being isolated. So it was kind of written
Yeah.
with those parameters. And of course, having worked in the improv theater world for a long time, or adjacent, I was a bartender. So I just kind of witnessing and watching. That's a
You're
lot of the
in the
inspiration too.
shadows.
So there's definitely some inspiration in there and some spite. So it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, because I won't spoil the ending for those who haven't watched it, but there is an element of improv in there, which ends up being a big plot of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And there are three friends of the show in the pilot: Megan O'Malley, Isabel Owens, and Corey Easley, all
Yeah.
previous guests and friends of the show, and they are all fantastic. One of the things I loved about it is because it's solely focused on you and your story,
Mm-hmm.
Alan. The facial expressions of you and all the actors that you cast in it are so subtle and so perfect. There's one part where Megan O'Malley just kind of squints and nods, and it's just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so much of beginner improv in her
Mm-hmm.
face. She nailed it. There's just so much
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that in the whole show. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
thanks. I
it
like that.
you would say it's a dark comedy, yeah, right?
Yes, that's how I describe it. Yeah.
And what is your ultimate vision for this? Is it just a one and done, or are you guys actively working to make this a series?
Well, I mean, we wrote. I think there's 4 episodes fully written and outline of like 8, I believe.
Okay.
But it took us, you know, again, having no budget and
Yeah.
everything, it took us so long to make this that we realized that, you know, we thought like, oh, we can crank out 8 of these, and then we made one, and it took like 9 months, and we were like, Jesus
Right.
Christ, you know, a series would take a decade to make. That doesn't make sense. So we hope to, you know, shop it, get it sold, and potentially make more.
Yeah.
As of right now, it lives on YouTube because we are complete outsiders in the industry, and we're just, you know, hitting up those unsolicited emails and stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, we hope to do more, but right now we're just waiting to see if we can get some traction on episode 1.
Perfect. So, to help out with traction, I am telling all my listeners, anyone listening to the episode, if you watch Illegal Alan and write to me, you can DM me at Wild Nights with Rocky and say a compliment or something you liked about the show. I will read your name and your compliment on the next episode for Asher, and share it with your friends.
Ooh, juicy.
A little incentive.
There's a good way to bait people. I
It's
like this.
yes. I hope they take the bait, and
Yeah.
you should. Everyone listening, you should take the bait because it is such a great pilot. Now, Asher, also you do stand up. Do you have any shows you want to plug or talk about that a little bit?
I do a little stand up. I don't
Yeah,
think
I've
people
been
consider
noticing
me a
that.
stand up, but
It
we
doesn't really
I
matter
don't.
what people consider. It's what you consider. If you're out there doing stand up, then
True. I
yeah,
guess I don't consider myself a stand up, but
Gotcha.
I do consider myself a comedian of different, you know, varying levels.
Right.
And there's a live show we're doing at Young Ethel's. Shout out to Young Ethel's, Tim and
Another
Mary.
shout out to Young Ethels.
Yeah, they're getting big.
They're
On
getting
Sunday the 26th, we're doing a show called Christmas '96. It's kind of like a heinous YouTube clip show. It's kind of like just watching weird TV with your bitter uncle.
Gotcha.
So, you know, if you want to get wasted and watch some strange Christian YouTube videos, come on out.
I think that is fun.
There should be a bunch of other fun you know, local relative friends to our group that are going to be in it too. It's not me, it's you know, a bunch of, there's like 11 people.
11 people. Is it commentary style or are people doing stand up?
There's commentary, there's a stand-up segment, there's a karaoke, there's a bunch of segments, okay? And I don't want to give a bunch of it away. It's a bunch of segments with performances by a lot of people who actually are funny.
Perfect.
And I'm just kind of hosting it and putting it all together.
Okay, so this was kind of your love child. You came up with the idea for this show. Perfect. Well, it seems like any kind of love child you make and any kind of project that you put your energy towards comes out great. You're also an artist.
Sometimes, yes,
I
sometimes.
have an Asher original that you made for me, which I really
Yeah,
appreciate.
of course.
And you know, you've got your art, which you also sell at Young Ethel's, right?
Sometimes, yeah, they've done the art mart stuff, and I did that last week. Sometimes I sell them in the streets, but yeah, that's a real side gig.
Real side gig. Can people reach out to you and say, "Hey, Asher, can you draw me this?" And you can commission a price for them,
They
or
can
isn't that
try.
that's not your thing?
They can, I mean, it's happened before,
Hmm.
but often people do want things that are like impossible to create. Was the funny thing. The commissions I get are usually things that are like, well, I can't do that. I have a very specific uh, kind of lane I'm in with art. So if you like
Yes.
it, it's cool. But if I'm not that great outside of the one thing I do, which is kind of pop art.
Yes, pop art. Well, you're great at pop art and you're great at comedy and you're great at surviving so far.
Yeah, thank you.
You just have to make it till the episode comes out, Asher. I can't,
Yeah, a
this can't
couple
be
more
an.
days.
Yeah, so please just stay alive for us. And Asher, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me at Asher Sucks on Instagram, and I think that's it. That's the only social media I really have.
Beautiful. Asher Sucks spelled Sux for anyone that was going
Oh
to
yeah,
put in
good to point out.
Sucks. At
Hmm.
Asher Sucks, Asher. Everyone's going to check out your show and we're going to hear what
Check
they
me
think.
out.
Check them out. This was really wonderful. I'm sure I'll see you in the streets within the week or the next couple
Yeah,
weeks. And I look forward to laughing with you as we always do.
absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Of course, Asher, thanks for doing the show. We'll talk soon, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye.